Positions, functions, tasks and powers of the Vietnam Border Guards. Location and functions of the Border Guard. 1. Border Guards are the People's Armed Forces, components of the Vietnam People's Army, which are the core forces, in charge of managing and protecting national borders and border areas. 2. Border Guards have the function of advising the Minister of Defense to promulgate according to their competence or propose to the party and state policies and laws on border guards, perform the state management of national defense, security and foreign affairs and assume the prime responsibility for, and coordinate with agencies and organizations in, maintaining security, social order and safety in border areas and border gates in accordance with law. Duties of the Border Guards. 1. Collecting information, analyzing, evaluating and forecasting the situation to perform tasks and proposing to the Ministry of National Defense, the party and state to promulgate and direct the implementation of policies and laws on border guards. 2. Advising the Ministry of National Defense on the management and protection of the national border, maintaining security, social order and safety in border areas and border gates and building border guard forces. 3. To manage and protect the national border, the system of national landmarks, markers, border signs, border works and border gates, organize the inspection of the implementation of the law on border guards. 4. Maintaining security, social order and safety, preventing, detecting, preventing and combating methods and tactics of operation of hostile forces, preventing and combating crimes and law violations, protecting the legitimate rights and interests of agencies, organizations and individuals in border areas, border gates in accordance with the provisions of law. 5. Immigration control at the border gate shall be managed by the Ministry of National Defense and border crossing control in accordance with law. 6. To carry out international cooperation on border guards and border guard foreign affairs, settle border incidents and border gates in accordance with the provisions of law. 7. Propagating, disseminating and educating the law, mobilizing the people to implement the party's guidelines, policies and laws of the state. 8. Be ready to fight and fight against armed conflicts and wars of aggression in border areas. 9. Advising and acting as the core in building the all-people border defense and the all-people border defense posture in the border areas. Participate in the construction of defense areas at the provincial, border district and civil defense levels. 10. Receiving and using human resources and civil means to perform tasks as prescribed by law. 11. Participate in building grassroots political systems, arranging population stability, building infrastructure systems, socio-economic development and implementing ethnic and religious policies in border areas associated with building and strengthening national defense and security. 12. Participating in preventing, responding to and overcoming incidents, natural disasters, climate change and epidemics, search, rescue in border areas. Powers of the Border Guards. 1. Arranging and using forces, means and technical equipment to perform tasks, apply forms and measures to manage and protect national borders as prescribed in Articles 19 and 20 of this law. 2. Patrolling, inspecting, controlling, managing and protecting the national border, the system of national landmarks, markers, border signs, border works and border gates, issuance, amendment, supplementation and cancellation of visas and papers in the field of management and protection of national borders, inspect and control vehicles when there are signs of violation of the law, handle vehicles violating the law in border areas and border gates in accordance with the provisions of law. 3. To fight, prevent, investigate and handle violations of the law in border areas and border gates in accordance with law. 4. Limiting or suspending activities in border belts, border areas, border crossings at border gates and openings as prescribed in Article 11 of this law. 5. Using weapons, explosive materials and supporting tools as prescribed in Article 17 of this law. 6. Mobilize people, ships, civil technical devices and equipment as prescribed in Article 18 of this law. 7. Directly pursuing and arresting law-breaking persons and vehicles from the border to the interior. Coordinate with the forces to track and arrest people who violate the law to flee to the interior. Pursue and arrest persons and vehicles violating the law fleeing from within Vietnam's internal waters and territorial seas outside Vietnam's territorial sea in accordance with the provisions of Vietnamese law and treaties to which the Socialist Republic of Vietnam is a contracting party. 8. To cooperate and coordinate with functional forces of bordering countries, other countries and international organizations in managing and protecting national borders, border gates, preventing and combating crimes and violations of law in accordance with the provisions of Vietnamese law and international treaties to which the Socialist Republic of Vietnam is a contracting party.